Building Bhashini, Channelizing Indian AI Architecture. And join me in welcoming, in fact, the driving force behind Bhashini, Mr. Amitabh Nag. I would welcome him on the stage for this conversation, for this address that we will be having. Thank you so much, sir.
Very good morning, and thank you, Arnab and Republic TV, for having me here. You know, it's a great privilege to be addressing the gathering here and the channel, which is actually doing quite a lot of good for the country. I stand here as a Chief Executive Officer of Digital India Bhashini Division, which is basically an independent business division under Digital India Corporation, a Section 8 company under Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. We are here to what is called as transcending the language barrier. Bhashini is actually looking at how do we transcend the language barrier. India has got 22 languages which are there in the constitution. And then we have, about 100 plus language which is being spoken by multiple people. And then there are more languages which are actually dialects as well as tribal languages, so we have to actually cater to all of that. Sorry, it's not moving. We inherently solve, 5 basic problems, which is there. We are basically looking at computer or digital systems to understand what you speak. So it is about, automatic speech recognition. We are also looking at, can the computer translate something which is built up or which is encoded in one language to another language? So that is about text to text. Then we are looking at, can computers interact with you, or can digital systems interact with you in your own language, that is text to speech? And then we have a lot of printed material which is actually all around. So can the computer be able to read that into a machine-readable format? And we are also looking at whether the handwritten or the scenic text can be written. The next objective which we have, which is the 5th objective, is to actually create digital dictionary of the Indian languages into the system. And, you would understand this better when I try to describe how do we went about building this. This was announced as a mission by Honorable Finance Minister, and it was basically, thought of as an AI system, to be built through in about 2021. When we were working on that particular system, we had figured out that at that point of time, AI was not democratized, so we went across to about 70-odd research institutes which had the footprint of AI and NLP in them. And we, started building the solution along with them. And we have now actually created 22 languages models. We have actually created, a platform which deliver these 22 languages as APIs and service IDs. And this is available today to the people for various e-governance and service delivery activities. So right now, what do we have? We have already called 3 billion inferences on our system. That means 3 billion times language was not a barrier. There were inferences which were drawn up on the system. We have an application called Bhashini app, which is actually translating one language to other, and you can download it from App Store and Play Store. And this has got 1 million download today. We had, as I said, collaborated with the higher education institutes. So there are 70-odd higher education institutes with whom we have been collaborating to build this platform. So it is like democratizing AI to an extent which was never imagined before. 70-odd institutes have contributed in building this. We have 36 languages on text today, 24 on voice. So that is the platform which is there. We have 100 plus use cases and 41 plus language services in our platform. So this is something which has been built by us, for us, solving our own problems, and as we go by, we would give some demonstrations to you to show that what we are aiming at. Now, having done this, we have actually built up a few products which are there. So Anuvad is basically text-to-text translation, and it gives other glimpse of other feature. It is available to all of you. anuvad.bhashini.gov.in is the URL. Chitra Anuvad is video translation. You can translate one video to 22 languages, videos. Then you have Lekha Anuvad, where I was talking about reading the document and taking it across. Then we have a mobile app. Then we have translation plugin. Translation plugin is a plugin which will get onto your website and convert it into 22 languages using AI-based system. And then we have Vani Anuvad. Vani Anuvad will be demonstrated live today. We are having, I can speak in English and it will get translated into Hindi or any other language through an AI agent. And the system which has been set up is actually doing that. Now, when we go to the next set of activity, which is basically looking at, so this is the customer engagement which we have. Vani Anuvad is, as I said, a public addressing system, which is used. Then you have Abhilekh. Abhilekh is a transcription. So as I am speaking, it is getting transcribed here. If you see the screen, we will basically be able to show it to you, display it to you on what has been transcribed. So that is Abhilekh, and this is today being used in Parliament. Parliament, if you go to the PIB website, Parliament is using a version of it to transcribe what is happening. So that is on the floor language, this is being used. And then we have the next thing, which is audiobook. That means if you put across a PDF, it will start speaking in Telugu, Tamil, or the language which you want to speak, right? This is another product which we have done. Then we have mobile app. Of course, all of you can use the mobile app to converse wherever you go. Then we have Chitra Anuvad, I talked about, video translation. Then there is something which we are experimenting today. This will be soon available, which is Bachi. That means I can set my own language on my phone, and somebody else is speaking in any language will get translated to my language when I'm speaking in phone. So that's something which we are wanting to do, and it will soon be launched in the thing. And then, of course, I talked about plugin. Plugin is basically a plugin which actually sits across on the website and converts it into 22 languages. And Anuvad I talked about, this you can use. But most important thing is about the use cases which we have built up. One of the use cases which I am talking about is eGram Swaraj. So eGram Swaraj is, ERP for panchayats. 2.7 lakh panchayats which are in the country work on this ERP to get the reports and get the do day-to-day activities here. This was all in English before we intervened and made it to 22 languages. So you can see the difference which we have made from on the last mile to make the society inclusive. The second one is the Central Public Grievances System. It's the system where you can actually put in your grievance and you can speak out your grievance, and it goes to the Department of Administrative Reforms, which actually gets the answers there. So there is again, CP Grams, which is there. Now, in Rajasthan, we encountered a typical problem. There are systems in the hospitals which were supposed to record the birth data as such, and many of the nurses were doing it because of the digital side. So we actually gave them a system to do a voice-enabled form entry, which actually, this is a typical case of digital inclusion, people who are living on the other side of digital divide. Every Aadhaar enrollment and update service goes through us. We come to the next one. We have 12 crore farmers in the country. And every 4 months, Honorable Prime Minister transfers 2,000 rupees to them through a benefit transfer. Now, even 1% of them, if they have a problem, in getting the money, they would have perhaps gone around all the city to figure out what is the problem. We have given them a chatbot, right now available in 13 languages, 22 languages, and they can ask, "Mujhe kist nahi mili, what is the challenge?" And this chatbot would answer what is there. We are also a system by which, the feedback can be taken on through an AI-based system, which is basically be used to take the farmer's thing. Another interesting thing which we had was, there is a Kisan credit which is given on the parcel of land which the farmer owns. Now that is in vernacular language in the state database. Banks don't understand that language. So with Reserve Bank Innovation Hub, we built a platform called frictionless credit. There, the land part is presented to the bank for the loan, and theoretically, you can get the loan in a day now, which was he was translating and then giving it back. This is a bank chatbot which SBI today is, well, their website is multilingual, and we will get more, products, etc. on a basis. UPI 123 is a very unique system. Now, we had a voice journey for payment. Imagine a person, a use case which was imagined was that a person coming from the village comes to the city, earns 100 rupees. At the end of the day, he wants to transfer money to his phone. Now, if both the people are on UPI, conduct this payment through a voice journey, accepting the touch phone, the phone is used for pins, pin transmission, and that means there you can also use touch phones, not a smartphone, to transfer money here. Then you have Jan Manrega and eShram portal accessibility. This is, of course, Jan Manrega. Job card speaks out. So again, living on the other side of it is taking this up. Then, Then we have, tourism and public information. We were an active participant in Kumbh. We created the Kumbh chatbot, which was used again to figure out what is the information which is being in the city of Allahabad about the Kumbh. We worked, whenever we are doing these systems, there are nuances which come in. Kumbh has approximately about 400 words, which is only used in Kumbh, and that needed to be customized. Like Akhada is a different proposition in Kumbh than what is there in normal sense, right? Then, Rail Madad and NTES are 11 languages today. So you can launch, put in your grievance in your own language, which was available in Hindi and English till now. We are, we are going to cover these languages, which is basically a large language base. And then, of course, we are empowering startups to actually use this. So this is another phase of work we are doing. And this is the, startup community which we are working upon. So, there is a large community which is basically being, discussed and taken up. So with this basic, I am branching off to a few demonstrations. This is, of course, transcribed here. It is, I think, not coming clearly on the thing. It is available here. Maybe, we will print it out and give it across to you. And now what I'm doing is I'm going to speak in English, and it will get live translated into Hindi. So I've chosen Hindi language just for the sake of convenience, because expecting that most of you people will be conversant with Hindi so that we are able to judge ourselves. Now, the configuration which is there in the system is something like this. We have two, one, and the other is representing the other side, which is basically the speaker side. When I'm speaking here, it is basically taking my voice, converting into text, then translating it, then converting into voice, all happening in a GPU and a cloud, and it is coming back. So you might observe some delays, which is there, but it is the same kind of a delay which happens in the manual translation also. So, we would love to have your feedback, because this is something which is our goal ultimately. That when I speak to you, you shouldn't be bothered which language I am speaking, and I should be able to hear you in whatever language you're talking about.
Bhashini, as sir talked about, that Bhashini for 22 scheduled Indian languages, building AI models, at Arnab sir said, ground up on the Indian data, so that we can actually differentiate between मैं जा रहा हूँ और मैं जा रही हूँ is getting captured properly in an Indian accent. So I'm just starting the demo by mentioning the Bhashini's elite that tie-up that we did with the Parliament Lok Sabha Secretariat, and we named it as Sansad Bhashini. That Bhashini is specifically tailored, trained for the Lok Sabha Secretariat. And the first challenge that we took up was the first to seventh Lok Sabha documents. At that time, when India got independence, it was getting written by a pen, pencil. The statements made by honorable members at that time was omitted, circled, and it was typed using a old-style typewriter. And it was very tough to OCR it. If the technical fraternity is there, that OCRing a digital document is very easy if it's having a printed, or you can say a very digitized format. But first to seven Lok Sabha documents were tilted, curved. The OCR was a challenge, so they spent 3-4 years in the research. So Bhashini came up with a solution. You can see in front of you, there is a workbench we developed through a hackathon called Sansad Spardha. It's Granthika. And we are now rolling out a hackathon that on the left-hand side, there's a first to seventh Lok Sabha document. And on the right-hand side, you can see an editor. So now these students of Delhi University are going to digitize these documents through voice, powered by Bhashini ASR APIs, endpoints. On the left-hand side, there is a document, and the right-hand side, if you start speaking, the text will come up. And the challenge that these documents were, it is in Hindi, English, and Urdu. And we have to retain the layouts at the 2-column layout. You can see there's a 2-column layout. It's very hard to detect the OCR thing. So we developed this workbench through a startup challenge, and it is now getting used in the Lok Sabha to digitize the first to seventh Lok Sabha documents. And further, it has been extended to digitize the manuscripts that is written on the leaves. You cannot OCR it. So using Bhashini ASR APIs, this particular workbench is being used. Talking about Sansad Bhashini, a lot of problem statements were coming from the Lok Sabha Secretariat's early adopter of the AI solutions developed by Bhashini. They said that we are having some kind of rule of parliamentary procedures, and it's very hard to always reference it one by one because that's a book of around 1,000 pages. So can we actually build a bot on top of it? So that's what we built, a chatbot for the parliamentary procedures that honorable members can use. We usually see the interaction in the parliament where we have to reference the rules of the parliamentary procedures. I'll quickly show you one demo. We called it as a Sansad Bhashini chatbot that will be soon rolled out for the honorable members and the Lok Sabha Secretariat. I've asked one question, a basic question. So I'll ask a basic question that we all can relate is, there are different committees in the parliament, so I'll ask a basic question. इस संसद में मामलों की जांच के लिए समितियों के गठन करने के क्या नियम हैं? मतलब what is the process to create a committee on a specific project? So this is what the technology, meanwhile the response is coming. The Bhashini ASR API comes into the picture, it recognized my intent and my voice. It is taken to the LLM, where this rule of parliamentary procedures vector database is there. It will draft the answer, it will come up with the answer. So it's there.
नमस्ते, मैं कोरिजन से माया हूं और मैं भारतीय संसद की प्रक्रियाओं से संबंधित आपके प्रश्नों में सहायता कर सकती हूं। भारतीय संसद में कमेटियों का गठन निम्नलिखित नियमों के अनुसार किया जा सकता है। स्वेर राज्यसभा नियम और लोकसभा नियम के प्रावधानों के अनुसार ये नियम।
So this was the one use case of the chatbot. Just imagine like if I use the same Bhashini stack on a IVRS, how it works. So let me just dial to Sansad Bhashini. Same WhatsApp number is being used as an IVRS also.
Thank you for reaching out to the Indian Parliament helpline. How may I assist you today?
मुझे जानना है संसद में पार्लियामेंट्री कमिटीज के गठन के क्या नियम होते हैं?
Just to confirm, did you ask about Sansad main parliamentary committees के गठन के नियम?
हाँ.
Are we still on the call? Can you hear me?
हाँ, मैंने जो पूछा उसका जवाब चाहिए.
पार्लियामेंट्री कमिटीज का गठन कुछ नियमों के अनुसार होता है, जैसे कि राज्यसभा और लोकसभा के रूल्स ऑफ प्रोसीजर, संसद के अधिनियम या किसी प्रस्ताव के माध्यम से.
So it was just a power like Bhashini, ASR came into the picture, then the LLM, and then we gave a voice to the content that was retrieved. This is how we are cracking a biggest problem of converting that 1,000-pager book into a chatbot system that can be easily accessed to the Lok Sabha. With that, it was Sansad Bhashini. We are building Bhashini for each customer. We are working for telecommunication. There is a telecommunication Bhashini. We worked with ONDC as well. So I'll give you a quick demo of what we built for ONDC. The problem statement shared with us was, एक छोटा दुकानदार, if he want to create his own portfolio and onboarding on an e-commerce platform called ONDC, can it be done? So with that, we created a chatbot for them also. Meanwhile, I request Pooja to please test it. Meanwhile, this Vani Anuvad can be tested. So there is a chatbot for the onboarding. It is provided to the small shopkeepers and it will come like this.
जहां आपको सभी ई-कॉमर्स से जुड़ी सुविधाएं मिलेंगी। आई व्यापार लॉन्च पैड में आपका स्वागत है। यह एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है जहां आपको सभी ई-कॉमर्स से जुड़ी सुविधाएं मिलेंगी। आइए व्यापार लॉन्च पैड।
So it will ask me for the onboarding.
मैं दुकान पंजीकरण प्रक्रिया शुरू करने जा रहा हूं। कृपया अपनी दुकान का नाम दर्ज करें।
It's asking me कि अपने दुकान का नाम दर्ज करें. Let me stop it.
मैं दुकान पंजीकरण प्रक्रिया शुरू करने जा रहा हूं। कृपया अपनी दुकान का नाम
Someone's calling.
करें।
Try again.
मैं दुकान पंजीकरण प्रक्रिया शुरू करने जा रहा हूं। कृपया अपनी दुकान का नाम दर्ज करें।
Republic TV. It will take me to the journey. So I'm just cutting it short. It'll ask me my name, my shop name, what products I sell, how I sell, what is my inventory, how I'm going to sell it, am I going to accept the UPI payments, am I having a photo of the products, and taking all these things in my native language, it will create a onboarding setup for me that can be further taken up to the ONDC. So that's the journey. And all these products that I just demonstrated are using Bhashini as a base. Bhashini automatic speech recognition, Bhashini neural machine translation, the technologies that we build on Indian technologies, the denoiser, the voice activity detection of the Indian languages, all these things coming together, building a pipeline. The engineer is sitting out there, Shailendra Pal Singh, who created the platform and managing it. And we're touching 3 billion inferencings in a day with these small applications. So yeah, with that, we're closing and we'll be setting up the Vani Anuvad because we really want to show you how we can communicate with Arnab sir from English to Bengali. So we will be doing that. Thank you.